Hello and welcome to another Blender bite-sized video. In this one I'm going to show you how to make a procedural gemstone material. Just a reminder, I'm using Blender 4.2 with Windows 11, an NVIDIA graphics card, Cycles render engine and a custom startup file. Just before I continue with the tutorial, let me remind you that you can grab this material and hundreds more on my Gumroad store, blenderbitesize.gumroad.com. Okay, so here's my scene in my custom startup file. I've got 3 backlights together with some lighting in the room that I've created, and obviously a camera and several gemstone shapes. Now if you don't want to model your own, you can go to Edit, Preferences, and make sure you've got Extra Mesh Objects enabled, specifically the Gemstones menu. Now you would access those by pressing Shift A, Mesh, Gemstones, and then you've got 3 to choose from here. There are others available, but these are built in and very simple to load and use. So to create the material, I'm going over to the Shading tab, I'm enabling Display Render Preview, and I'm going to just very quickly click on the first object, press Shift and left click on the other 2, and then I will press Ctrl L to access the linking menu and I will link materials. Now it's just crossed my mind that I don't have a material assigned, so that might not have worked, but we'll come back to that if we need to. I've just clicked on New and I'm going to delete the principled shader because I don't need that for this one. Press Shift A and search for a glass BSDF node, and then press Shift D to duplicate that a couple of times. I actually need 4 of those, but I'm just going to build this as I see it in my head. I'm going to need a math node here and also another one here, so again duplicate that one. Then I will need a couple of value nodes. These are nodes that you input values into and they control multiple nodes at the same time. Then I'll need an RGB node. This is a way of inputting color. Then I'm going to need an add shader. So this is going to add one BSDF node to another. And I'll duplicate that so that I have 2. Then I will need a mix shader. So this is going to take 2 principled BSDFs like the glass shader and mix them together. Okay, so I'll just duplicate the 4th glass shader there, move it over here, and then above that I'm going to need a light path node. Now if I just give myself a bit more space, hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on. I'll just leave you a sliver of the preview at the top so you can see as it happens what's going on. So let's start connecting things up. So I'm going to connect the mix shader to the material output in the surface slot. Then the add shader into the bottom slot of the mix shader, and that glass shader into the mix shader in the top slot. Then I'm going to take the is camera array output from the light path node and plug it into the factor for the mix shader. I'll connect up the 2 add shaders, connect the top glass shader to the top slot in that add shader, and then the second glass shader into the add shader node. There's a lot of shader words here. Then the 3rd one into the bottom slot of the second add shader. So you can see there how it's all connecting up. For that math node, I'm going to connect it to the index of refraction node in the top glass shader, and the bottom one into the bottom glass shader. Now this value node is going to control the index of refraction, so I'm going to plug it into the top slot on the top math node, into the actual slot in the middle glass shader, and then into the bottom math node there in the top slot as well. Then we've got the dispersion value, and I just need that for the 2 math nodes to create that bottom value. Now I also need to take this index of refraction value over to the 4th glass shader as well, but by pressing Shift and right click and dragging a line across that connector, I can actually add little points. So as opposed to going behind the other nodes, it goes around them. And you use G to move that like you would within the layout tab as well. Now I'm going to connect this RGB value to that fourth glass shader. Not entirely sure why I've put it all the way over here, so I'll move that next to the glass shader itself. You could actually just use the glass input on that glass shader, but I find that having this little widget helps me because I can just drag things around without having to access another menu. Okay, let's start making some changes. Because as you've noticed, we don't yet have a gemstone looking material. I'm going to change the methodology, or the calculation, or the distribution method, that's what I mean, for all the glass shaders to GGX. Then in the top color slot, or the top glass shader, change to RGB color mode and drop the green and blue down to 0. Then for the middle one, we want green at 1 and red and blue at 0. And then for the bottom one, you've probably guessed, red and green at 0 and blue at 1. And then for the RGB value, I'm just going to put it all the way up to white at the moment. For the top math node, we need to change that to subtract, and the bottom one we keep as add. Now for the index of refraction value, we're going for 2.41. And then the dispersion, 0.044. And there we have our gemstone material. Now, as I suspected, it hasn't actually populated across all the objects, but first of all, I'll select the top value node, and I'll press N to open up the side panel. And I'm going to give each of those a name so that I know which to change in the future if I come back to this. And you can see it's changed the names on those nodes. So to link materials, select all the objects, making sure that the material you want to copy is last, so it's got a yellowish outline. Then press Ctrl M and Ctrl L followed by M, and that will link all the materials across those objects. But what about if we want different colors on each object? Well, we can use this little button here. Select the object you want to change, click it, and it will create a copy of the material, and you can then change that independently. Same again here, select the object, copy it, change the color. So we've now got a way of adjusting the index of refraction, the dispersion, and the color for each and every gemstone within that scene, just with one node setup. Isn't that cool? Now obviously lighting will have an impact, scale will have an impact, so I would encourage you to work at real scale, or real world scale when doing this, and also to use appropriate lighting. I'm going to change the output render size to 100% because I had that set on that before. The noise threshold I'm going to drop to 0.1 because I'm using transparent materials. I've got denoising enabled. This is the max bounces I've got set for the light paths. And then I've got reflective and refractive caustics enabled. I've got fast GI approximation with those settings, and also I've got some culling going on. Hopefully all of these settings are helping me to reduce the render time for this down from what will likely be very incredible size. Now I've got the compositor set to work with my GPU there to save me some processor time, and the only thing I've got in here is a denoise node, and that's plugging the noisy image into the image slot of that and then out to the composite node. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that took around 14 seconds in all per frame, so that does make it a little bit longer than an opaque material, but I think you'll agree it looks fantastic. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for future content, and of course any questions, leave them in the comments below.